Hey, Vaughn. First, my apology to you for the delay in doing this online video or screen share with you to show you best use practices for the nutrition app. So I figured I would shoot this video and email it to you and have it at your disposal so you can use it. So here I'm in your profile, and first thing I just want to encourage you to do, Vaughn, is I was looking at your food log history, and for the last few, within the last week or so, there really hasn't been any. So I just want to encourage you to please stay on top of doing this. If anything, it provides guidance and structure, and at least allows you to track the progress that you're making and what you're eating so that you can basically create structure and framework around your nutrition and stay on track to your goal and to reaching it with success. Okay, so when you and I met on Saturday, we were trying to figure out how to create a custom food, or if you're doing custom recipes or foods at home and you want to use them as favorites and add them and log them into your meal plan. So we would first go into favorites, we would go into recipes. Let me just back up for a moment. Down here with foods, where it says set up my favorite foods, this is pre-populated by the app already, where it is breaking it down by the kinds of foods, fruits, vegetables. Pretty much everybody is given this based on the settings that initially were put in. So the system has pre-populated, and it can, as you can see, all these stars are already highlighted. If you didn't eat any of these foods, that's the beauty of the app. You can always say, well, I don't eat pear. That's not one of my favorites. You can unstar it. No, let me do that. No, and you could take it out, save, and you can see, I'm sorry, I did it on the kiwi, but let's do the same thing for pears. That's what I was trying to show you. So for lunch and breakfast, pear is highlighted as a favorite, save it, and you can see kiwi and pear are gone as a favorite. Or you can just go back in and leave it as is. And you can assign it then to also where, like as a breakfast for lunch. Do you want to do it for snack? You can also add it there. Sides, you can make it for beverages, dessert sides. It gets a little granular, but I would basically say I guess you want to put it as a side or dessert. You would save it. And then up here as well, you could also go under the favorites for lunch. So remember, we saw pear was there twice, so you could take it out of here if you didn't want it. Let me see, how do we do that? Cancel. There's a way to take it out, but I'm not going to go into that right now. So we cancel that. And then also it can break it down by carbs, proteins, or fat. That's what the CPF stands for. And then it also which foods are assigned to which meals, lunch, dinner, or snack. But you could always add new foods to this by going into favorites. Let's go back, or I could have went back the other way as well. Foods, and then you can say set up my favorite foods. So back up. That's already there too. Custom food, that's what it is. There are none. So for create a custom food, what you would do with this here, this is more geared towards, say, you're eating something, a packaged item, and it's not in, let me just go here to food log, and say you were adding a food and you were trying to find it and it's not here in the nutrient database or the package label. What you could do is you could come back here to food, favorites, foods, create a new custom food, and if you have the package label that your item came in, basically you could copy the package label and input all the information regarding calories and the breakdown of the macronutrients, fats, proteins, the minerals and vitamins, and then you would save it. All right, so we come out of that. Now let me go back into here. This is what I came for recipes created by me. So as you can see, baked chicken is here. If you recall, you and I had our last session. We had started with baked chicken. We didn't populate it because we were having some confusion over sauteed versus fried. So I did a little research. So let's edit this and go into full nutrient database, and let's just say sauteed. And when we do that, it's interesting. I even did this searching the United States Department of Agriculture database. Sauteed will pull up these foods, even though sauteed per se is not in the written description that we see, but it has been assigned to these various foods. Even though scallops are baked or broiled, or salmon is showing as baked or broiled, but it's also coming under sauteed. Okay, so the difference between sauteed and fried is sauteed is using just enough oil in the heating element, the heating pan or pot to be able to cover the food. No, not cover, not submerge the food, but just enough to be able to cook the food off. And then frying is more so about putting more oil in the pan and creating like a crispy coating. Usually frying is accompanied by some type of coating like flour or batter. So the app is a little funky. Even the United States database, which I have loaded here, is a little funky as well with regards to what terms to put in. So sometimes you would have to put in sauteed, and then other times if you put in sauteed and it brings this up to that these foods are assigned to sauteed. Well, let's say if we did fried, what would it bring up? You see, then you would see here, like I was saying earlier, if I put in fried and it brings up chicken breasts, you'll see that it's usually accompanied by being breaded or floured. Let me see. See right here, it's coming up under fried. I'm wondering if there's some overlap, but in the overall purpose of the app is still to give you guidance. Like here we go again, chicken breast under fried with it's battered. So you know that this is not sauteed because it couldn't be sauteed if it has batter on it. So this is definitely a fried chicken or deep fried. So going back to sauteed, and let's just say we chose this one here, chicken breast with or without bone. You would favorite it. You would click into it. You would then determine the size. So, um, medium chicken breasts, large chicken breasts. You could highlight here and just type in, say it's a large chicken breast that you may have sliced up, or just used as whole. You can always type in one, and the system, the rotary wheel will kind of take you down there, or you could toggle through it and rotate through it, or you could always just highlight it and just say you had two. You hit it and you will see it rolls right down to two. Another thing is once you do two large chicken breasts, say that's I'm sure you're not eating that in one sitting, so try and stick with whatever your serving is when you have a sit down. So let's just say you had one medium chicken breast at your serving. You want to make that a favorite. Here's where you could also see the nutrition profile for it. You would see that it's already pre-populated with all the vitamins and minerals and macronutrients, protein, carbs. You can see it's rather high in protein, which is a good thing, and the fats. Um, and then you could also assign it as something you want to eat for lunch or dinner. It's assigned to entrees, which is already there. And then you would save it. Oh, you can also, it's already favorites. Save it. Done. Oops. Let me add that. Hey, it didn't come in. I'm sorry about that, Vaughn. Hold on. Let me do it again. There it is. Medium. Let's go with one. Add. There it is. Okay. So now we have that. Then let's say you added onions to it. Um, let's see. Maybe scallions. Let's see if they have scallions listed. Nope. So we would go with onions. Onion, mature, raw, young. Young green, raw onions are usually scallions because scallions are green. And you would just say maybe you had a quarter cup of them chopped. You could then favorite that as well. Add it to lunch and dinner just like chicken breast is added. And you can look at the nutrition profile again for onions. They really are like almost like nothing is in them. They're very minimal. Um, Done. Did I add it? Let me go back to my onions. Where did I go? Young. There we go. Favorite it. Click into it. Let's just say it's a third of a cup. Add. And now you see you have onions in here. And let's just say, what else do you put in there? I don't know. What else could you put in here? But you get the gist of it. And so what would happen now is that you have now created your baked chicken recipe. Maybe you were to add gravy. I wonder if gravy's here. Let's just say gravy. Are you there? Poultry gravy. You could add that as a favorite. Typical serving. Let's just say it's a half a cup, a third of a cup. You could star it. Lunch and dinner, it's already there because usually that's where it goes for. I mean, who says you can't have it for breakfast though? And it would go as a side. It's not an entree, it's not a beverage, it's not a dessert. So definitely side is applicable. You can see the nutrition profile for it. Come back, add it in. So now you have chicken and onions with gravy. You would save it, and now if you were to go into, as you look down here, you can see how it breaks down the macronutrients: 10 grams of fat, 58 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, a total of 351 calories. You could then log it to your food. You could say typical, what is this here? Typical serving. Let's go to 1. Let me just type in 1. 1. Toggle down typical serving for lunch, or if you had it for dinner. For Wednesday, April 4th, save it. Open food log. And there's your chicken breast. The only thing that is a little bit of an irritation for me with this app, which is something that the company is working on, is that when you do put in a custom recipe, it drops in every component for that recipe. So instead of just saying baked chicken as your as a meal that you had, it's going to say baked chicken. And if you were to put every single ingredient, it will show every single ingredient. And then up here, what you can do, okay, so back here we see dinner, 187 calories based on the serving size we put in, one typical serving. And if you toggle up here, you would be able to see where you are thus far in the day with calories, fats, carbs, and protein. And it pretty much mimics right here. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. And also, Vaughn, as you know, I think you already knew this part. Your meal plans are already there. They are now accessible in the smartphone instead of going through desktop. And you basically, based on your calorie ranges that have been set up by the app, go back. You can basically go through and find meal plans that are to your liking. Now, mind you, when it says like dinner, chicken, black beans, rice, of course you're going to make recipes with this. You're not just eating plain old chicken or black beans and rice, but it at least gives you a framework to work within that says, okay, if you follow this meal plan, this is how many calories you can expect or be close to it. Okay, well, that's it. If it's a little long-winded, I am sorry, but I wanted to be thorough. And if you have any questions, of course, you know how to reach me. I will talk to you later. Peace.